I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Bonfire Side Chat, the podcast where we talk about Elden Ring constantly. No, it's not, Gary. It stays a future cast. We have to put away our Elden Ring hats and talk about X-Men for a little while.
Yeah, and this is mostly like really awesome, interesting issues, but I'd still rather be playing a video game.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we start, I want to sorry listeners about cutting off last episode. I'm feeling better. I more or less figured out what that was.
Oh, good.
So, and I'm on a new medication that is actually working, which is very rare for me with my doctor who does not listen to me. So it is it's good that I actually kind of bullied him into doing his job.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm sorry I forgot to follow up with you. I don't think I've talked to you about anything but Elden Ring and X-Men for the last couple of weeks.
No, what else is there? But the one of the worst parts about being a fat guy is you go to a doctor, no matter what's wrong, that's all they say.
Yeah.
It's real horseshit.
Now imagine if you were a woman.
Yeah, exactly. Then it would just be like, this also, I don't think you should talk to your husband before getting your tubes tied and stuff like that. Doctors suck. Unless they don't have borders, and then they're great. I had a funny anecdote to tell you. So
I thought this was the funny
anecdote.
Night, I thought you were starting that.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, the funny anecdote is not me getting on new meds. Last night, I told you this before, and I can't remember if it was on mic.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember it triggered a memory. So earlier in the week, so this is going to sound like nothing until the grand totality of it. Last night I had one. Earlier in the week I had one. Before last time I talked to you, I now had 3 dreams that were legitimate stress dreams about trying to text you about watching the end credits of a non-existent movie because it reveals MCU shit.
You've told me that once. Yeah, you texted me the next morning, and you were like, "I have to wake up and tell Jeremy this." I did not know that this was a reoccurring thing.
Wait, it happened. So last night it happened, and then I was like, "Oh God damn it, that happened!" You know how you don't always remember your dreams at the time.
Yeah,
but it unlocked something. So that also happened earlier this week, like Monday or Tuesday. So that has now entered into my stress dream rotation of letting you know that the Fantastic Four show up at the end of Ant-Man 3. And being incredibly stressed that I haven't done it yet.
Oh, it's so funny. I didn't mean to make our friendship into a real stress environment about MCU spoilers, dude. I'm so sorry.
What is going on with my brain? It's so stupid. You watch that stuff before I do usually. It's not my responsibility. I don't know why I'm nervous about it.
Maybe that's what it is. You're afraid that I'm going to fall down on my duties and you have to be responsible for it. Oh my God, what are we going to do about Days of Future Cast?
Yeah. You didn't tell me that the Defenders were joining, it's just, it's very, very silly.
Yeah.
I do not. So I only have 2 recurring dreams. It's that. And then, not traveling away from somewhere and waiting too long to buy a ticket back, and then trying to rush to the airport and trying to make a flight.
Yeah.
And those and one, you've joined the Pantheon now.
I'm proud to be there. The only reoccurring dream that I remember having is and it's the only thing I really remember about it is that there are vampires and that there's a children's playground somewhere. But it's to put a fucking American McGee's name on that. But it's one of those dreams that while I'm having it, I vividly remember having it before. So I'm but I can't get out of it. So I'm I've just got to go through all of this vampire children's playground bullshit before I can get out of this. And I'm still terrified, but there's a part of my brain that's you just got to roll through this. You can get through it kind of thing. It's really bizarre. And I hate it because I wake up feeling exhausted from it.
Yeah. Dreams suck.
Yes.
Apparently I was, talking in my sleep over the weekend, and my girlfriend told me I kept going, mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. So I was saying no to something.
Sleepy Gary says no.
Good God, don't let there be an end credits scene. I don't have my phone.
How am I going to tell Jeremy?
I can't tell Jeremy about the Fantastic Four.
That's very funny.
I don't care that much about it. I know they'll come in good time. I don't know what's going on. It's real stupid.
So yeah, we're back. We're kind of wrapping up some Avengers versus X-Men stuff before we move on to our the new stuff that we're going to be covering. So in this session, we're going to start the Consequences series after a couple of wrap-up issues, and then in the next session we'll be doing your feedback episode. We've had a couple of people send feedback. This is the time to do it. You're on a deadline. I don't know what the deadline is, but like as you're hearing my voice, just think, I got to do this right now. And Jeremy told me to.
Just draft it up.
Yeah. You can DM us on Twitter. You can email Gary's personal email, which is like ilovefrog69@yahoo.com.
I love it when Frog69, dude.
I
don't even know if frogs have genitals.
You wouldn't think they'd be good at it, but man, those little spindly legs, they can wrap. You know what I'm saying? They can wrap around
with their
a little
tongues.
bit.
They could like effectively 69 just facing each other.
Interesting. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me try to picture this in my head.
Math.
Just looking in, like, imagine staring in your partner's eyes. Right, and then also just
seeing your unborn children, like the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves song.
Yes, absolutely. Oh God. So yeah, how the fuck did we get on Frog69? So yeah, daysoffuturecast.com. Go to the contact form, send that in, or just DM us on Twitter. You can even DM me on Twitter. I don't care. Just send us whatever you want to talk about. That's any recent MCU stuff, any of the movies or TV shows we've talked about recently. It's anything about AvX or just X-Men in general. Even current day X-Men stuff. Like, if you have questions or whatever, we'll do our best to answer them. So
yeah. Which, keeping in mind that I haven't been reading the comics.
Yeah,
the new ones. I'm not caught up.
I didn't say that we would answer them correctly. I just said that we would answer them. So. Yeah.
We will inaccurately answer them.
Also, if you have any Elden Ring questions, we can handle those as well.
Yeah, if you spoil something for Elden Ring in that medium, I'll block you.
True.
Don't do it.
True.
Today, this first thing we're going to talk about is Avengers versus X-Men Versus number 6, a series that I think started out with us both like, this is kind of fun, and and hey, it's Gambit versus Captain America. That's weird. And then slowly became a little bit of a slog. And then this just ends with, it has a main story that is, just a fight that's a little bit obnoxious, and then a bunch of little pinup jokes.
Yes. I don't know that we'll go about panel by panel on some of these one-page, like one-off kind of jokes. They're there, they're cute.
Explain what they are.
Yeah, I mean they're fine for what they are. None of this stuff really like super appeals to me. Like I was just like, oh, that's good. I'm glad that an artist got to do that. I guess. Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna start out with Hope versus Scarlet Witch, which happened in AvX either 10 or 11, I think. And
12.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That was
editor's note. This takes place during AvX 12.
Oh well, son of a bitch. And yeah, they're going to be fighting. And yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about Hope and Scarlet Witch fighting. I don't. It's been a couple of weeks since I've read this, and I'm paging through right now, and boy, is it just them fighting or what?
It's a real straight shot. There are a couple of things like worth, pointing out, I guess, that are events in it. This is where I've seen this panel as like a meme panel where Hope headbutts Scarlet Witch in the nose and says, "Miss no more mutants. How about no more nose?"
Perfect.
And breaks her nose.
Mm-hmm.
So good. The end, good on her. Break Scarlet Witch's nose. I don't care. And the other thing I was thinking about is they're fighting and they're kind of like turning each other into puzzle pieces.
Yeah. Always a good time. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. The House of M stuff that we're going to get in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. And then it shows them fighting, and there's an AvX fun fight that's just a fun fact. That's just a yin yang symbol. Is there like a visual theme or motif that was less delivered on in this fucking thing than whatever they were trying to get with that?
There is, because in Consequences, Captain America is like actively looking for the Extinction Team, and I'm like, y'all did not call it the Extinction Team in the 70 fucking issues that I have read. I'm sorry, I would remember.
It's what it's called in. It's the uncanny. It's what they call it in Uncanny.
Yeah,
like in the beginning of that Uncanny run, they call them that. But yeah, nobody calls them that in the crossover.
Yeah, and it also wasn't that team. It wasn't those people. So yeah, like this and the Omega thing, or the Alpha and Omega or Yin Yang bullshit, was definitely like severely underserviced. And I guess like the Phoenix Force and Wanda's power, like the Chaos and Incarnate thing, are supposed to be two sides of the same coin. But man,
chaos, and then also another type of chaos.
yeah,
The Phoenix isn't a force of order.
It is very Dark Souls 3 when you think about it that way. There's giants, and then other giants, and then what is this? Oh, small giants.
This should be a yin yang of like white and eggshell instead of white and black.
Yeah.
It just this weird, like it unlocks something for me. In about the whole crossover, is that if this had been about the Phoenix and mutants and New Mutants the whole time, it would have been great. But it feels like Brian Michael Bendis had an Iron Fist dragon story he wanted to tell also. So it just ends up having this weird bit bleed into it. And I know that I am typically like not super interested in Kunlun and feudal Japan, and is not an area of like interest of mine. But that even aside, I don't think it fits very well into the story.
No, not at all.
The Iron Fist and the Dragon stuff was not integral in any way or thematically connected to it.
And it's frustrating because like there's a aspect of that, like Wanda's power being a flip side or a component of, or like a mirror of the Phoenixes, which is kind of cool, like a kind of a cool idea, because like for a while they've been dealing with Scarlet Witch's powers not being exactly what they thought they were, right? Like they're being a lot more crazy than anybody ever really anticipated. And like the idea of that matching with the Phoenix, I think is extremely cool. It's not delivered on at all here. And I like having this just be like a fight where because Hope is a mimic and she mimics and increases other people's powers. And so she's just fighting Wanda with the same stuff. It's not like it's the Phoenix versus Wanda, which is what I kind of wanted to see, right?
No. And there's not that, whatever, if they're trying to draw the parallel between like Wanda destroys mutants and Hope brings mutants back, that is not an accurate representation as to what happened in the story with the Phoenix. Like the Phoenix is not on display in this pairing. It's real silly. And then it being presented with a little fun fact font and stuff really irritated me. I just was like, this
is it because the fun facts have usually been like, I think on average fairly good? Like I know there's some that we really just rolled our eyes at, but you sometimes like,
jokes.
Yeah, they've at least been kind of funny. But yeah, this is just like she's not even like, what are they doing? Like they're not even mimicking each other's power. It doesn't make any fucking sense, Gary. I don't like it.
They're failing at a high five.
Yeah, exactly.
They missed. It feels so bad.
This eventually gets stopped when the menfolk come along, because you can't be having some ladies fight without the menfolk arriving.
It's really weird because they stop right before Captain America tells them to stop. Like, the fun fact says it's going to destroy the Earth. Like their power is over, getting super crazy. Wanda says this is too far. Let's take it down a notch. And Hope goes, you're right. And then, so they're powering down. And then the very next panel, Captain America's like, stand down. But they were standing down. They just decided to stop fighting before he said it. It almost feels like the panels are out of order.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre.
It's really strange. This is also a real bad AvX fun fact, which is Captain America is level 15 in guilt trips. And
yeah.
And like, I really need to know what system you're working in, dude, because level 15 is not that high in some cases. Like, I don't know. And all he said was, what the hell are you thinking? Which is not a guilt trip at all. He was just like, hey, stop.
No. And then the little joke of Hope being level 16 in subordination and sucker punching Wanda and knocking her out.
Yeah, good. Fine. I guess it's fine.
Like Wanda could use a knockout.
Yeah.
Gonna destroy all the mutants, but it's silly. And that's the climax of this book, really. And then now we have miniature fights, some of which are funny, some of which are cute, some of which are just annoying. But this was nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. The next fight is a one-pager from Cyclops versus Captain America in verbal abuse, which is just a bunch of like real, like my instinct is to say lowbrow, but it's not even that. Like it's just real bad insults, right? Like they're just not funny.
The only part of this that I like, so that's them like talking smack at each other. Oh, your superpower is being less interesting than your girlfriends and stuff. The only one I like is Cyclops reminding Captain America that he had Rick Jones dress up as Bucky and creep everyone out. And I was like, man, that would fucking be weird.
It would be super fucking weird.
Tony and being like, hey man, where are you going with this?
Oh
Like,
man,
what's the idea here?
what do you like? I know Bucky. Like that's a guy. Like that's a dude. Like this is really strange.
And also, Rick Jones is a guy. He doesn't need to dress up as your dead friend. It's a weird thing to do to another person.
And yeah, this all just it comes down to just like some verbal sparring, and I don't know. The sketch art on this is kind of I like that kind of stuff. But
yeah, Jim Mahfood, who is a good, it's cute.
Yeah,
like this rises to the level of worthwhile. It's one page.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Next page is AvX Science Battle. It's Catherine Stewart Imoen, who are artists I really like, doing this, but it's just all the science characters fighting and yelling science babble at each other.
Yeah. I think, this could be a little funnier. I think like just saying science stuff isn't quite enough. Like it's very much, how in every single TV show, like someone's like, what's the deal? And the guy's like, well, I can't, I haven't been able to unplug the hard drive. Well, speak English, nerd. Like, no, it's just a hard drive. I just have to unplug it. Like it's a USB. Like you're fucking 30, dude. Like you're
dumb it down for me, Doc.
Yeah. And it just very, very much feels like, they're talking about USB cables at this point. And I don't, it's just not very funny to me.
Yeah, there's no good jokes in it. The only thing that I like about it, and this does not justify it even remotely, is Kavita Rao choking out Iron Man.
Yeah, that's very good.
Like what a matchup.
I do. I do like Black Panther saying that's what happens when you put Wolverine in charge of education, but it's not even really in response to anything. It's just him yelling it, and I think that's funny.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone's yelling. Also, our boy with the laser arm, Da Vinci, is in there.
Yeah.
So.
And he's speaking Spanish, or excuse me, he's speaking Italian, where everybody else is speaking English, and I guess that's kind of funny. So,
the next one is just a pinup drawing. There's no fight to it. It's just Havoc versus Captain America, and a couple of little AvX fun fact bonbos, but the idea is just an image, really.
Yeah.
Basically,
I do like that they call the winner of this Havoc, and there's a little asterisk and it says because the X office put this book together and not the Avengers office. It's very funny. That's good. It's about the only thing in there that I like.
It looks cool. Like Havoc's powers look cool.
Yeah.
Mike Diodato is somebody who, like, when he's doing a big thing, can look really neat.
Yeah. Art
like
is
a
good.
large drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't have to draw backgrounds or a sense of scale.
The next one is Hulk versus Domino for 2 pages. And the idea is that Domino's luck powers make her shrink down and hit Hulk in pressure points that knock him out.
I don't get it, Gary. When have we ever seen...
I don't get it.
Is this a thing that happens on a regular basis?
Nope. Certainly not.
Yeah, don't... it's not good. It's not super great.
The idea, I think, is just it's Ed McGuinness, his big superhero art. Big beefcake men and big titty ladies.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't care. The next one, we have a janitor fight. Toad shows up at Avengers Tower to do things, and Jarvis beats him up and throws him out of a window, presumably to die. Splattered on the concrete.
Yep. Good job, Jarvis.
Yeah, go Jarvis. That's fine. I hate new Toad.
There's a couple of things that I actually kind of like in this. Like the idea that the White Queen has control over Wolverine's top janitor in the narration is very funny to me. Like, now I really want to watch the TV show Wolverine's Top Janitor. Like, that seems like a great time.
I like that a lot too. Like Wolverine having it's like how you talk about how you have a guy for everything as a homeowner.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got a janitor guy. Yeah.
I got my friend Derek. I talk about. He had a birthday recently, and I find myself in an unusual position because I want to give him a birthday gift, and I was thinking about getting some art commissioned for him. He's a big X-Men guy as well.
Okay,
but the idea that I had that I couldn't get out of my head was Wolverine naked from the waist down, popping claws, and a claw also comes out of his dick.
Okay, I know somebody that will draw that for you if you're still looking.
That's what I was going to say. Is that now in the unusual situation of like being in the market for somebody who will draw dirty art for a reasonable price, and that is not a situation which I would be in. And I have this intense urge to just be like, it's not for masturbation. Like, I'm not going to jerk off to this. It's just because my friend will think it's funny that when Wolverine does this, a claw comes out of his urethra.
I have the perfect person for you, so I will.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Right. Shout out to Filthy Wizard on Twitter, who will definitely take care of this for us. So we will make this happen.
I'm familiar with them.
Yeah.
I have a couple follow-up questions we'll do after recording. So great. Asked and answered.
Done. Come to me for all your NSFW needs, Gary.
Yeah, but Wolverine's top janitor was making me think of that, and I don't know why.
Because you're imagining Wolverine's a top and Cyclops is the bottom.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
When is the other time? There's another fun fact here that says this is not the first time Jarvis has dealt with a lesser housekeeper. Is that a reference to something? Was there like a robot Jarvis at some point, or is that an Ultron joke? Like, I don't even.
I know that it is. What is it? There's an old timey Avengers crossover I read a long time ago that I remember kind of liking.
Mm-hmm.
There was like the Avengers getting like sieged like in their mansion.
Okay.
Or if Jarvis being sieged in the mansion while the Avengers were away or something. I can't remember much more than that, but it might be a reference to that because he had to kind of like, operate the security system, and it was him versus a bunch of supervillains. I remember it being pretty fun.
Okay.
And like it was like an 80s story, but I don't know specifically what it's referencing.
Doesn't matter. I was just curious if you happen to know offhand.
It's weird for them to put it there because you'd think a lot of people probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, and that's the point, right? Like comic books are always doing that kind of stuff to make you go buy other comic books. Next up is Spider-Woman versus X-Women, kinda, and it's just Hawkeye jerking off about Spider-Woman fighting various women in the X-Men team. This just seems like an excuse to draw some pinups.
What was that?
This just seems like an excuse to draw some pinups.
Yeah. This is for titty purposes.
Mm-hmm.
The him imagining his girlfriend fighting Psylocke, and then some of like the poses that they get in. They look like sexy girl mud wrestling.
Yeah.
Poses and the like.
Mm-hmm.
It's a joke. And it's it's to draw some pinups. It's weird because that only takes place half of the page. The rest of it is, I don't even really know why the second half of this is here because the joke is in the first panel.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
I also I really like. I'm very confused by the concept of women fighting turning dudes on, which has become like if you go on any porn site, like it's like, oh, watch these two women fighting and then they have sex, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like I'm okay with them not doing that. Why do they have to fight first? I don't understand it.
No, violence is a turnoff to me as well. But Hawkeye, this is just how Hawkeye rolls,
Yeah, the super horny Hawkeye that we have in AvX is definitely like that. So,
yep. So like, what if a horny Hawkeye? Sure. And then the next panel is Iron Fist versus Iceman. There's not a whole lot to this either. It's just Iron Fist wins, and then the humidity increases and starts raining, so Iceman can reconstitute and beat Iron Fist.
Yes. I'm super glad Iceman won this. I also just props to the writer for being like, this takes place 2 days after Cyclops said no more Avengers. And I'm like, okay. Like, I did not care.
It's placed down to the minute.
Yeah. I mean, thank you. We've been begging you guys to just like make a like fucking chart of where these issues go so we can read them in order. But this is where we get the down to the fucking second. Anyway, this doesn't.
Yeah. The only thing that is noteworthy about this to me is the art. I like this art a lot. It's Ramon K. Perez and Jordi Belair doing the coloring, and the coloring is great.
Yeah,
like it's got those big flat, Mike Allred colors that I like. I would read a whole comic in this style. I think it looks pretty good. It reminds me a little bit of the Matt Fraction Hawkeye style.
Exactly,
a little bit the way it's colored. It's cool.
Next up is Squirrel Girl versus Pixie, when we realize that Squirrel Girl is actually the one responsible for all of the AvX drama because they were playing with the Puppet Masters toys.
Yeah, trying and like D&D, they're playing with them as miniatures. This is the last one actually here, and the thing pulls them all back.
Yeah,
saying that they are the Puppet Master. They're like, oh, I wonder if anything happened. I don't know what's going on. And then in the newspaper is like Avengers and X-Men Worldwide War.
Cute and very cute. Yeah. I like Pixie. Pixie is the only Welsh superhero, I think, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And she has pink hair, so that's dope. That's my opinion about this comic book.
Cool too. Squirrel Girl's funny. Legendary panel where she says Wolverine just says snicked.
Yes.
Like the whole time. It's never made the noise.
I thought that's Jubilee though, right?
Say what?
That's Jubilee. Right?
Yeah. But it's in a
Squirrel Girl comic. I got you.
Jubilee is telling Squirrel Girl. This is Dan Slott writing this, who I like, even though there's no real jokes here or anything. And Katie Cook doing the art, and the art's adorable.
Yes.
This thing is great.
Yes, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, just the weird like mushy thing or something, like a thing marshmallow. I want to put this guy in my mouth immediately. Just his whole body.
Yeah, man. I would read a whole comic of this thing, like going around just doing Yancey Street shit as this cute little muffin. Like, it's pretty adorable.
I love it.
Yeah, that's how this comic series decided to end.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we thought that this was going to be the dumbest thing in AvX that we were covering when we looked at the issue list. Like, I remember looking at this and us like kind of cracking up about the concept and just the name alone, and the fact that we got like a 20% enjoyment out of it is kind of bonkers to me. So I'm willing to be like, oh, okay, like, yeah, you should definitely do that if you're turning into content for money, but you probably shouldn't read it on your own.
Reading a comic is such a low ask.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's hard for me to get mad at a comic. Just because it is so easy.
Yeah, it goes down real smooth. So yeah, that's it. That's AvX Versus. We're not going to talk about that comic book anymore. And next week we're going to go finish up Uncanny X-Men number 20. And that's going to be a lot of fun, a lot more in depth, I think. In the meantime, if you want to support the network, go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. We have kind of completely changed the way that early feed stuff works. So if you're having issues with that, reach out. I just got an email from Cole. He sounds like he is ready to drown himself in a pool. So if you just want
more stuff going on,
yeah, dude, it seems like it.
Is it just our host being down? Because there's nothing we can do about that.
No. It sounds like people are being kind of mean about this. So don't be mean to Cole. Come be mean to Jeremy. Like send me what you need, and I will get you taken care of. Or Will. What is Will doing anyway? Writing articles for the quote unquote AV Club, whatever that is. Send us some, we're here to help. Don't bother Cole. Don't be mean to Cole. Support us on Patreon, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks, and send us your feedback. So do all of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you for doing so. Thank you for bearing with us. And Bonfireside Chat season starts, Sunday, so you'll before you hear this.
Yeah, no, actually they'll hear this tomorrow. So like if they
tomorrow, the day after you're hearing this.
Yes, pay attention,
you will,
everybody.
First impressions episode, which is real scattered and just real lovey, but of specific interest is us laying out kind of our plans for the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about. Bonfireside Chat is back, baby. I mean, it never left. I know that, but I just like saying that to annoy you. So, bye, everybody.
Yep. Take care.